Local high school students are in Washington, D.C. for a good cause. Find out more in the show.
A fishy situation is occurring every time you do your laundry. How concerned should we be?
And one familiar K-State face will be parting ways after 8 years of service.
And K-State Athletics is taking steps to become more independent. Find out about this and more coming up on Channel 8 News.
To shine. Beautiful weather for a swim, don't you think? More local weather in your 5-day forecast coming up after this cannonball. Cannonball!
This is KKSU-LD, covering Manhattan, Riley County, and the Flint Hills, broadcasting in high definition from Kansas State University. You're watching Channel 8 News.
Hello and welcome to Channel 8 News. My name is Dylan Lears.
And I'm Avery Osen. Thanks for joining us. Coming up in the show, we will tell you about a big change in the relationship between Kansas State University and K-State Athletics.
But first, we have an update on an apartment fire that occurred last Wednesday. When the Manhattan Fire Department arrived on scene, all occupants had made it out in time, but 2 dogs remained inside. Manhattan Fire was able to control the fire within 10 minutes, but were able to save both the dogs, Ducky and Leela, from the fire, who were attended to by K-State's veterinary school. Captain Lewis Kaler from the Manhattan Fire Department explains how MFD goes about the situation when animals are left inside.
We have a hand line at least going, attacking the fire or finding the fire. And we could then at that time also search for animals, because we're going to search either way. We're going to do a primary search, whether or not it is actually known or not known that there's somebody in there.
The Center for Disease Control has released the latest reports on the recent outbreak of E. coli that has swept across the nation. This past week, 31 more people have become infected by the disease, bringing the total victims up to 84. 19 different states have been affected. Fortunately, Kansas has not been one of those. The disease is being spread through romaine lettuce grown in Yuma, Arizona, that became contaminated. The Center for Disease Control is advising people to avoid all romaine lettuce in the near future. A local student weighs in on the outbreak.
As long as the dining centers check for it and the other places on campus that serve food, such as the places in the Union, we should be fine. That's really my only concern.
A Philadelphia Starbucks called the police on 2 African-American men due to racial profiling on April 12th. Starbucks has since announced that it is closing down every store in the United States in order to give their employees racial bias training. Channel 8's Brett Huntington went down to a local coffee shop to see how the people there feel about the situation.
Will be closing down more than 8,000 stores due to the incident, an action many people view as a necessary step in the right direction.
Although Sparrow Coffee certainly isn't as big as Starbucks, they still pride themselves on being as safe as possible for all people.
Hannah Corbis, a Sparrow Coffee employee, makes sure that her coffee shop remains a welcoming environment and supports Starbucks shutting down.
I think it's really great that they are shutting everything down to bring awareness to that situation and just to make people just understand different cultures or ethnicities better, so that kind of thing doesn't happen for no reason. And if someone from another race or background comes into our coffee shop and we make those kind of judgments or do anything to make them feel unsafe or not welcomed, shame on us for that. We want everyone to come in here and feel welcomed and part of our family.
As coffee shops have become a place for people like Nicole Shanner to hang out, she says that it is important that all customers should feel safe to be there.
I think being a safe place, especially at K-State, since we all live here, it should be a place of refuge. And I feel like with this thing happening, I feel like a lot of people are more stirred up, and our safety is like really important for us because we just have to feel like we're at home, and even though we're away from home, this is our home for the time being.
Sparrow Coffee, just like many establishments, put their customers first and hope that Starbucks closing down will result in a positive environment to be in. From Manhattan, this is Brett Huntington, Channel 8 News.
If you're a habitual coffee drinker and can't handle your morning without some Starbucks on the 29th, just know they're going to be back for regular business hours on April 30th. The relationship between Kansas State University and K-State Athletics is about to undergo a big change. Channel 8 reporter Emma Carter has the story.
Spring semester winds down. Ticket sales for football and basketball are just gearing up, with weekly text messages being sent out to students to remind them to buy their athletic passes for the fall. However, changes are coming to Kansas State Athletics. Kansas State Athletics and the Kansas State University Student Governing Association will become separate entities. This split came on Tuesday night when a bill was passed between SGA and KSA saying that KSA will no longer receive a portion of the student privilege fee. Student Body President-elect Jordan Keel explains how the privilege fee used to work.
Privilege fee is what every student pays as a full-time student to be able to get access to a lot of the resources we have at K-State.
This split comes after the campus privilege fee is projecting a deficit of $344,000 this fiscal year due to a lack in overall enrollment. On the flip side of that, the Kansas State Athletics has reported a balanced budget and received surplus amounts in the last 6 years.
A detailed account of the changes coming to KSA can be found here on the SGA website. Down below, you'll find detailed accounts of the separation and how they reached that agreement.
Deputy Athletic Director Jill Shields explains how this separation has been in the works for years.
Back in 2015, we talked about phasing out the privilege fee, and knowing that campus has some budget cuts, we really felt it was the right thing to do, and it was the right time to do it.
Shields says that students should not notice a difference when they return in the fall for the next athletic season and believes that SGA and KSA will continue their strong relationship. In Manhattan, I'm Emma Carter, Channel 8 News.
The split will remain in effect for the next 3 years. However, if there is a significant drop in ticket sales, SGA and KSU will come together to reassess the bill.
With more campus news, it seems like the graduates won't be the only ones leaving campus at the end of the semester. Channel 8's reporter Tiffany Horn has the story.
Known for her class and kind gestures, Provost April Mason has made it a priority to connect with the students and faculty at K-State by being attentive and supportive to multiple student and faculty organizations.
Was a supporter of events and different lectures related to food security and agriculture, which is something that matters a lot to me as an agriculture student on campus. And she was a really nice lady.
After 8 years of commitment to this university, Mason has decided to move on in hopes that she and K-State will have a new, fresh start.
Well, I think being provost for 8.5 years is a long time. And both the university needs someone new with a new perspective and new ideas. And I think I needed something new. I will be moving out of Kansas. I'm going back to Fort Collins, Colorado, where I came from.
During her years at K-State, April Mason was heavily involved with encouraging inclusion and diversity on campus. Mason was involved in multiple events that animated diversity and inclusion on campus, such as the KSU Night and K-State in Italy.
Mason has definitely done a lot for the university in her time being here. Definitely helped bring K-State closer to its 2025 mission and goals. And so I think her retirement will be well deserved.
This will be her last semester, but she says she will miss the Wildcats.
I said, what are you going to miss the most? And I said, all of you. Working with students has been a real pleasure.
Mason is excited to see what her future has in store. In Manhattan, I'm Tiffany Horn, Channel 8 News.
A farewell celebration honoring April Mason will be held Wednesday, May 9th in the Alumni Center Ballroom. Many international students call K-State their home, some here for opportunities that are not available in their home countries.
That's right, Dylan. Find out what it's like for K-State international students when we come back.
I know a spot that I love full well.
'Tis not in forest, nor yet in dell. Ever it holds me with magic spell.
I think of thee, alma mater.
Carry thy banner high. Long, long, may thy colors fly.
Loyal to thee, thy children will swell the cry. Hail, 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 alma mater.
Research. It's applying the bigger picture toward the greater good. Defending the world from adversaries, both seen and unseen. Interpreting realities to unlock solutions. It's our land-grant mission to serve our world utilizing sharp minds, from first-year students to world-renowned experts. What makes research so strong at Kansas State University? Vision, progress, you.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. As we come closer to May, events surrounding graduation are spurring excitement around Manhattan. Channel 8 was present for this year's International Graduation Awards ceremony. Here in the studio is Channel 8 reporter Jared Sleppy with the details. Jared?
Thanks, Avery. Kansas State is a home to a wide variety of students, ideals, and opportunities. The International Graduation Awards ceremony last night showcased all these various perspectives.
Kansas State has a diverse group of students coming from all corners of the globe to further their education. Although it's difficult to step into their shoes and see what it's like being thousands of miles away from home, Sharif Patwari from Bangladesh gives advice to those who are hoping to achieve their American dream.
Related to my study, one valuable thing that I have learned is graduate study is not fun. It's not easy, so you need to work hard. Like if you don't feel like you cannot do it anymore, then you are actually not graduating. So there would be this kind of moments when you will be really, hanging there and finish your degree.
Patwari has enjoyed his time at K-State and loved interacting with the people in the international program and made relationships with other students. But what he said he enjoyed the most was the experience he was able to acquire with K-State's vast amount of opportunities that were made available to him.
So far, the most memorable memory was attending in a conference in Florida, Tampa, Florida. So we had really good fun over there. So that was our one of the most recognized conference in our discipline.
Many students like Patwari are not only improving their education, others like Jorge Simroth are bettering the lives of their families. Simroth is a graduate PhD studying pathobiology, and K-State's philosophy of family cannot be more important to his.
I was amazed by the power of the word, family. K-State takes pride in that. Inclusion is amazing, and the ability we had to actually raise a family while being here, and how the whole Manhattan community in K-State really takes care of you as an individual and as a family. It's amazing.
Although there are over 24,000 students at K-State, the university prides on having a community-like atmosphere. Kansas State has over 250 undergraduate programs, with hundreds of students calling K-State their beloved alma mater. With all these dreams being turned into reality, there is a lot of work being done behind the scenes. The university hires well-qualified staff to assist them in many ways to make them feel at home.
We try really hard to get to know all of the international students individually through one-on-one appointments and through participation in all of the different international activities on campus. So I know most of the students, and many of them I'm their family away from home.
Sarah and the International Student Services strive to create an environment that helps these scholars feel at home.
K-State's commencement ceremonies start Friday, May 11th and continue through Saturday, May 12th in Bramlage Coliseum. When it comes to promoting diversity of opinions, the International Student Services at K-State work to bring talented scholars from every part of the world. As a nationally recognized research institution, the university attracts students that seek to make a difference. Many of this year's graduating class are leaving with degrees in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, just to name a few.
With the different research projects, the grant projects, you're getting talent from all around the world, and not just from one different part of the world. So you're assisting all of that. Throw in the fact that all of these international students pay out-of-state tuition, and they come here and they don't have cars and they don't have cell phone service here or insurance service here, so they purchase all of these products here.
Having international students at K-State brings us a lot more than a local economic boost. After the graduation awards, we spoke with Grant Chapman, the interim associate provost of international programs, and he says that often traveling thousands of miles to pursue higher education, most international scholars arrive on campus not knowing what to expect.
But keep in mind, most of our international students, unlike our domestic students, will have never come for a visit before they actually come and officially enroll. So they're taking everything on faith. You have pictures, you have videos, you have alumni talk to them. They may have a friend here, so they know a little bit about it. But they show up with 2 or 3 suitcases, and that's it.
International programs at K-State provide many resources that allow practically anyone who wants to the opportunities to travel or study abroad. Find out more at ksu.edu/ISSS. Now back to you, Avery and Dylan.
Thanks, Jared. Now our weather anchor, Chase Swinson, joins us. What are you doing with goggles on?
Boy, howdy, folks. Let me tell you, Turtle Creek, a lot chillier than anticipated. It was a humbling experience, to say the least. But we do like to go big or go home here, so I felt like I had to do a cannonball.
Yeah, but before we get to weather, though, did you know that washing your clothes may be harmful for the environment? Find out more when we come back.
Bases loaded, one out, bottom of the ninth. Cats and Sooners tied at 5, and the Cats trying to win a Big 12 title for the first time ever. Outside, it gets away to the plate. Kansas State has its title.
Ships it in the middle, a header into the goal, and a score for K-State.
The best kept secret in Manhattan is not a secret anymore. I'm Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Wildcats, and welcome to JP's Sports Grill. With daily chef-inspired specials, a full bar, and a diverse menu that has something for everyone, this place is guaranteed to impress. JP Sports Grill, your new favorite spot.
I was so pleased with what I saw on the discussion boards last night. Who started the module?
K-State Global Campus offers flexible online learning, the same name brand education, quality programs, and recognized award-winning professors with the flexibility to fit your life.
We're going to be working on Project 3 this week. It's a group project.
For your comfort and safety, light baggage must be stored in the overhead.
K-State Global Campus. Always on, always there.
Have you ever wondered what happens to your laundry water after you wash your clothes? One study says residue from our clothes is ending up in the fish supply. Channel 8 reporter Margot Coltrane has more.
PhD student in apparel and textiles at K-State is aiming to educate others on how to lower our environmental impact when we wash our clothes.
So the fashion industry is the second largest polluting industry in the world, next to the oil industry. And what a lot of people don't realize is a large portion of that environmental impact that comes from our clothing isn't during the manufacturing process. A lot of it comes during the laundry process.
The average load of laundry uses anywhere from 24 to 40 gallons of water. All that water, along with the microfibers that come off of our clothes and other materials in the wash, gets drained into our local waterways and consumed by the fish that we eat. In other words, we ingest what we wear, but it doesn't have to be that way if we are careful in how we do our laundry. Emily recommends paying attention to care labels and using a quarter of what detergent companies suggest.
The biggest mistake I see is too much soap, way too much soap. And people don't understand that doesn't necessarily make their clothes cleaner. Lots of that soap never gets rinsed from their clothes.
Polyester, a common material for today's clothing, is a type of plastic and isn't digestible by our bodies and aren't easily broken down in nature.
So something people could start doing is just kind of switching to more natural fibers. And it's tough to say that because that still has a large environmental impact. But in this regard, this seems like a good pivoting point to switch to natural, given that our essentially water cycle is full of tiny fibers.
By changing the way we do our laundry, we can change the impact it has on the environment and on ourselves. In Manhattan, I'm Margot Coltrane, Channel 8 News.
According to Pascal, there are about 3,000 particles per cubic feet of water that comes from our laundry. By following her advice and buying more sustainable materials, we can benefit both economically and environmentally. Now, Avery, I wonder what the temperatures are going to be like this weekend.
Yeah, let's check in with our weather anchor, Chase Swinson, to find out. Chase?
Thanks, Dylan and Avery, your friendly neighborhood weatherman, Chase Swinson here. And folks, we have to do a pretty quick and speedy weather report this week, so we're gonna have a little fun here. Sadly, no American flag swim trunks, but you know, as my mama used to say, modest is hottest. We're gonna go ahead and kick things off up in the northeastern portion of the United States, over here in New York. Wow, I'm looking pretty big today. New York looking about 62 degrees and sunny. As we move towards Chicago, 61 degrees, partly cloudy. The partly cloudy trend kind of continued throughout the nation. As we do move south towards Jacksonville, 72, also partly cloudy. We're gonna go ahead and move westward a little bit towards Houston, 77 degrees. And also partly cloudy. Things looking about the same there in Denver, mid-60s, partly cloudy. we're going to go ahead and progress across the nation. On the West Coast, you don't have to worry about too much. 69 degrees, raining. As you move south towards LA, upper 70s, cloudy. Kansas, things looking across the 60s across the board. Let's go ahead and move to what's important. Riley County, back home, 69 degrees. Now we're going to go ahead. We're all over the place here today, folks. We're going to go ahead and look how things are looking for our 24 hours here today. Mostly sunny for the high today, 69 degrees there at 4 p.m. Good weather to go check out the Batcats as they play at 6:30. Mostly sunny there, and temperatures dropping a bit towards sunset as we kick off our weekend there on Friday, 37 degrees and cloudy. We're going to finish things off by quick look at our 5-day forecast. Beautiful temperatures, upper 70s and 80s for the week. And we're going to go ahead and wrap things up and send it back to the desk.
Thanks, Chase. Fans were excited this past weekend as K-State football had their annual spring football game despite the rainy weather.
Plus, a K-State golfer took home the Wildcats' first individual medalist honor in 67 years. We'll give you the update coming up next.
Schultz one, high and deep to left, goodbye.
Shot to right, K-State's going to try and score two. Another play at the play, but this time Brevin slides past the tag. And Brad Hill is the all-time winningest coach in K-State history.
The best-kept secret in Manhattan is not a secret anymore. I'm Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Wildcats, and welcome to JP's Sports Grill. With daily chef-inspired specials, a full bar, and a diverse menu that has something for everyone, this place is guaranteed to impress. JP Sports Grill, your new favorite spot.
We are a family that does not tolerate discrimination of any kind.
A family that believes diversity, inclusion, and sportsmanship are expectations.
A family that is supportive and seeks to promote a positive environment.
A family that treats all people with respect and dignity.
No matter their color, creed, gender, ethnicity, or sexual orientation.
We are an empowered family.
Who empowers family.
Welcome to K-State. This is who we are.
Welcome back to Channel 8. Let's hand it over to Grant Miller for our weekly sports update. Grant?
Thanks, Dylan. This K-State football team has had its annual spring game last Saturday. The Wildcats separated into two teams, the purple team and the white team, and the two quarterbacks, Alex Delton and Skylar Thompson, flipped a coin to see who would start the game behind center. Thompson came out on top and would drive the Wildcats down the field for their first drive, but would end with a missed field goal. It was then Alex Delton's turn to see what he could do. On his first possession, he would drive the white squad all the way down the field for the game's first touchdown. He then switched jerseys and would drive the purple squad down the field before it ended with a second missed field goal attempt. The two quarterbacks finished with similar stat lines, and with Delton going 16 of 21 with 144 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Thompson going 13 of 19 with 149 yards and 1 score. As for who would get the start come the regular season, Coach Bill Snyder had this to say.
You know, both of them do a pretty decent job with both facets of the game. But as I've always said in here, it will be about game management, you know, and how well they can get us in, get us out of the right things and wrong things, and manage the ball game and be turnover free. And that'll be a major criteria for, you know, the evaluation.
Kansas State golfer Jeremy Gandon brought back the Wildcats' first individual medalist honor in 67 years. Gandon tied for the medal during the Big 12 championship at the Southern Hills Country Club in Tulsa, Oklahoma on Wednesday. This is Kansas State's first individual conference title championship since 1951, when the Graham Hunt won what was then the Big 7 championship. K-State as a team finished 10th at the 70 over par. They would finish 3 strokes behind West Virginia. Gandon had this to say about his performance during the Big 12 championship.
I played very solid all tournaments, shot 3 over. I mean, it's a tough course. It's hard to go very low on it because it's the greens are pretty tricky and it's hard to make birdies. But at the same time, you need to avoid big numbers those courses.
After dropping a series against West Virginia last weekend, Kansas State baseball was in action again Wednesday night. The Wildcats took on the University of Omaha last night in Omaha, Nebraska in a non-conference matchup. The Wildcats finished the game with 11 hits as they beat Omaha 6-5 after a wild pitch in the 11th inning allowed the Wildcats to score the go-ahead run. That's all the time we have for sports this week. Back to you, Dylan and Avery.
Thanks, Grant. The National Honor Society of Wamego High School teamed together with veterans to take a 2-day trip to Washington, D.C. to see their respective memorials. They're checking in from D.C. right when we come back.
I was so pleased with what I saw on the discussion boards last night. Who started the module?
K-State Global Campus offers flexible online learning, the same name brand education, quality programs, and recognized award-winning professors with the flexibility to fit your life.
Here you are, sir. Can I get you anything else?
For your comfort and safety, light baggage must be stored in the overhead.
K-State Global Campus, always on, always there.
When I hear the phrase giving back,
it means an opportunity for me to do something for others.
Volunteering exposes you to different ways of life and different people around the world.
They teach you just as much as you teach them.
It allows you to understand the social issues that we face. The only people who can resolve those social issues is us, and that's starting with our community.
I think for me it means just really embodying what it means to be a part of that K-State family.
K-State athletics team with Courts for Kids, and we went to Costa Rica, a town called Leona Veja.
We went to Dallas to volunteer at Aid Services of Dallas.
I believe everybody should have education, and that's why I volunteer at a high school.
It's a family atmosphere, and we're here to take care of each other, and I think that K-State Proud and other things that students do really embody that family atmosphere that we've been taught since we got here.
What motivates Wildcats to give back?
Empathy. Kindness.
You.
Welcome back to Channel 8 News. Wamego High School's National Honor Society is currently on day 2 of their 6th annual honor flight in Washington, D.C. The honor flight allows veterans in our region to see the nation's memorials accompanied by student guardians. For some veterans, seeing these memorials for the first time is a very emotional experience.
I just felt all the years after coming back from the war zone, I was never recognized. And when I got off the airplane today, it brought tears to my eyes, and I really got emotional. And I say thank you to everybody for that.
So Chase, what do we have in store for weather this weekend?
My dudes, very exciting weather this weekend. Things looking absolutely fantastic. Kind of cloudy here today, but don't worry, those clouds will be dissipating throughout the day. And it'll be looking sunny and in the mid-70s there for Friday and Saturday. The clouds do come back kind of Monday, Tuesday. But temperature raising up into the 80s. There is a chance, folks, for severe weather potentially on Tuesday. So you might want to keep that in mind. Keep your eye to the sky a little bit. Watch out for thunderstorms, maybe. Some other severe weather. But that pretty much wraps up our weather for the week, guys.
Good weekend for K-State baseball.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's all we have for this week. We'll be back next week for our final show of the semester.
So K-State baseball this weekend, they'll be playing Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against the Baylor Bears, and we'll have that coverage for you next week right here on Channel 8. But until then, hope to see you here next week for our last show this semester.